Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 649. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinside,
Ahoy.
and Tony Korkanakis.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 649 of the Gamecast. We are live streaming on Twitch Tuesday nights, so please feel free to jump in and join us. If you do miss the live broadcast, YouTube has all of our content, so flip on over there. Most of our content. It doesn't have the old episodes, but you can go back pretty far on YouTube to watch our stuff. So go on back. There's some crazy conversations we've had. So, but this is the Gamecast, folks. It's been another week. It's been another week of Tears of the Kingdom. It's been a fun sidetracked
More
learning
memes
experience.
on the internet.
I've watched
Things
so
that
many.
people are making.
I've watched so many memes, so many videos. You're just like, what is happening right here in this video? Like, what is happening here?
The ingenuity, the thoughtfulness. Everyone's making nice PG rated things and being creative.
Totally,
Yeah, I just watched one with a bunch of pots that were dangling from a big statue. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. So
Transformers?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then another video, that guy one upping that by using the ascend ability to go up its butt.
But
So there's been some crazy things. This game is just a crazy sandbox, and again, I said it again like last week. It's I finished the temple, and that was a fun fight. It was funny because I started the boss fight, and I think I just knew. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and just tinker and see what this is, and then be like, I did like the fight like 6 times, and I'm like, okay, I am not ready for this yet, and I just left the area in the middle of the fight, and went and got some more arrows and a better bow.
what fight was this?
The Wind Temple. Um,
Oh, okay.
I was not ready. I had like 20 arrows on me when I went to face that boss, and a really bad bow. And I'm like, so I went back with a little stronger bow and a lot of
Okay.
arrows, and yeah, then it was no problem. But the first part of it was just like I did it like 6 times. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
might
this
as well
is-
not waste your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, you don't
But
even
then-
need arrows for that most of the fight.
Really? What could I have done? Oh, zoomed in.
Mm.
What? So when it's horizontal, you can when you instead of floating on the paraglider, you press R to dive, and you literally just go right through.
Oh. I bet you that would have been a lot easier.
Yeah.
Oh well. It really wasn't that bad the way I did it.
No,
Like,
no, no,
once
no. I
got
mean,
it,
that's what
yeah.
most people do. It's just
Yeah.
I've told like 2 other people that, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And I was like,
Yeah, you just blew my mind when I heard that.
yeah."
Crazy. And then I decided to start gliding to my next spot. Found a canyon.
Well, hold up.
and then-
The ascent to the temples are so awesome, right? Like
That was
just
insane.
getting to it.
The
Yeah.
climb.
Yeah.
The climb was, and then like I accidentally fell, but I
Yeah.
didn't die.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
rather than so I was doing like the path that was the hardest to navigate, but avoiding like the hardest combat.
Yeah.
And then I fell, and I'm like, well, here goes the hardest combat side. So, I wasted all that time, so I had to reascend going up the hard way, which is easier platforming wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ascension to that was insane. To use the abilities, the
Yeah.
glide. I mean, I'm trying to balance the heart containers and the stamina. That's what I'm trying to do now.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I really want more hearts first, and then I got to build the stamina. Like I think I did it last time, where I got at least a row, and then I started just doing the stamina like crazy.
Oh, a whole row. The
Yeah, I did it last
row is
time.
huge, dude. Row
I know.
is huge.
No, I can't do that now. But I think last game it was like, no, I did like a whole row. Then I started leveling up the stamina. And then
Oh,
I did a couple
jeez.
more hearts, and that's what I did last time. So this
Okay.
time around, I've already done a couple of stamina, but you get sidetracked so easily. Like I was helping
Yeah.
the guy with that stupid sign, trying to
Yep.
like hang the sign. I'm going to a temple, and I'm like, oh, this guy's trying to hold the sign, and I'm like, how am I going to help him in this situation? 30 minutes later, I'm like, Jesus Christ. So you get sidetracked so easily.
Yeah.
But I love the game. It's a cool sandbox game. I do wish that I no knock on the game whatsoever. It looks fantastic. It's amazing what they've done. But I wish that it was on a little hardware, better.
Oh
Hardware,
yeah, for sure. I mean,
with less fog. You know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
looks. I just wish I had that because this game is so beautiful. Without the fog, it would be
yeah.
phenomenal. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So. But that's it. I mean, that's it for me. That's been the game. So, and as we were talking, there's so many coming out, which we're going to talk about. But Tony, I'm guessing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm still. Oh my god, I think 90 hours last I looked, or something like that, which is crazy.
Wow, I'm like, what am I? 25? I'm not even that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's just absurd. And there's still stuff to do. Like, there's just so much stuff to do. I'm just like, and you get kind of like paralysis analysis, or like I could do this, or I could go do this, and it's like I could do this too.
The other thing is like not only that, but it's then I could do this, but then couldn't I do this a little more efficiently? And you sit there thinking about like you just said, that boss fight. Like there's temples that I'm in, I'm like, I know they want me to do this, but how cool would it be to do something else instead? And that happens a lot.
Yeah, I was doing this one yesterday actually, where I spent 15 minutes. I was like, okay, I know what I want to do. I know what the game's trying to get me to do, but it just was not working. Like, you had to get this thing through a narrow space. I'm just like trying like all these things to like make it fit, and I was just like, okay, this is impossible, because I'm like literally like spinning this object and the things I have to attach to this object. I'm like, I don't understand how the game wants me to do it. And I'm just like looking at it. I'm just staring at it, and I was like, wait a second. And I looked to my right, and there's an object that was already placed in the game. And I was like, motherfucker, because I realized it. They literally just put the answer right in front of you. That all you have to do is be like, oh, this is perfectly placed for what it wants you to do. I'm just trying to be intentionally vague, even though there's like 100-something shrines. I was just like, motherfucker. Because as soon as I connected those dots, I was like, I can't believe I spent 15 minutes on this fucking puzzle. And I was just like,
for me, I mean, I'm actually, I got distracted, and I found the Forgotten Temple.
Yeah.
And there's a shrine in there, and that shrine said building blocks when I went in. So I was like, okay. So I walked down the stairs, and I'm like, they give you blocks, and there's these unmovable blocks. And I'm thinking like they want me to build stairs. So I'm like trying to build stairs up to the top to get over the gate, and I'm like, it was probably like 20 minutes before I'm like, Tetris. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's really what it turned into be. But it was like 20 minutes of me trying to build stairs to get them to work, to get up above the gate.
Yep.
So it's just funny. Like, I overthought it, but that happens in this game because of the amount of things you can do.
Yeah, it definitely does. And there was, again, another puzzle where, like, I don't know what the intended solution was supposed to be. I just figured something else out, and I got it to work, and I love it. I'm just like, whatever, I'll just good with this answer, because I beat it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good. Definitely coming up on the end, though. There's, for plot-relevant stuff, there's very few things left for me to do, but tons of side quests and stuff, so take my time still, yeah.
Cool.
Do you guys think that with all these new, the fusion and building mechanics, if someone played Breath of the Wild and didn't like it, if they would still like this game?
So
depends on what they didn't like.
The core of the game is the same. So the core is there, like the way you traverse the enemy combat and the breakable weapons, that's still there. I mean, the fusion does help the weapons from breaking so much, but they still break. So if you didn't like any of those aspects, then no. But if there was if you thought that the world was too barren, like if you thought it was too empty, then you'd like this. This is not empty. There's thousands of things to do here. Like, okay. I think I saw it best online written that like Breath of the Wild was crazy. Game of the Year was a beta test for what this game became. Like, if you go back to that game and how empty the world was, like how much we love that game, and then you go to this and how much like vibrant and crazy there's in this world that's going on everywhere you go, it's night and day. So, that's the big improvement. The sandbox, like the fusion, the building stuff, it just makes the game more in depth. But the core is going to be the same. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. I guess
I don't want to mix it up too much because the game was Game of the Year.
Yes. And like it's a sequel. It's a true sequel to that
building
game.
On it.
Yes, it's a true sequel. It's not reinventing the wheel on it. It's still a true sequel to what that was. They just made it better in every way. So that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you like Batman. So, I mean, I would say it's like Arkham City was to Arkham Asylum. Like, it just bigger and better, and like the world went from small, just Arkham Asylum to the whole. Yeah. Like, no. I'm just saying like the jump is like that kind of jump. Metaphorically.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or like I've never played it, but I hear similar things with like Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2, where it's just like one just a groundbreaking new game, and it's awesome. But then you play 2, and you're like, holy shit! Like, this is all the stuff they really wanted to do that they couldn't.
I mean, like, it's unbelievable when you think about what you did in Breath of the Wild. You're like, this game crushes it. It's just it's unbelievable to say that, but it does. So yeah, it's impressive what they've done, especially on such a inferior hardware based. I mean, it really is impressive what they've done.
I mean, they're running off of a system that runs at what, 7 watts, 9 watts, something like that.
I mean, I did get some. I have gotten frame drops. Going into the temple was the most like crazy like stutter I ran into. That wind temple.
Yeah.
It must have been like 5 frames when I was going in there. I'm like, this is not fun. And then it was only like that brief drop in, and then it was fine. And that's really the most noticeable one. There are frame drops you can see, but it's not like terrible. It does make you wish like that. We've talked about the Switch Pro multiple times, and like I really felt like this game was going to be that cross game, and I'm really shocked we haven't heard about the Switch Pro yet or anything.
Yeah, like I still stand by they were set to launch a Switch Pro in 2020 or whatever it was, and then COVID happened, shortage supplies, and they're like, we can't source the components, but we had the screens, we had the better battery, we had the new refreshed model design, but it's like, well, we can't get the chips, we can't do this, so OLED model, there you go, something like that. So
it makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping personally that next year when we see the successor, it's like, hey, you can get this free upgrade, and now it's 60 FPS.
Makes sense.
I mean, people run it on the emulator, and it just smooth as butter. It looks amazing.
That's where I saw somebody clean up the fog. I was like, holy cow, this game does look amazing.
Yeah.
Run that on your Steam Deck, dude.
Yeah. The emulator that has been since blocked, so by Nintendo.
Well, that's the official one off of Steam.
The official one, yes.
Like, you can get it anywhere, but like these fucking emulator bros, like, just a quick side discussion, they are getting so like brazen, like absolutely like, yeah, we're gonna try to upload the fucking official emulator or non-official emulator with the like the Wii keys and all that stuff, and it's like, bro, you cannot do that. Like, that is intellectual property, but from Nintendo, they will come after you. Like, they will come after you so fucking hard.
They will 100% do that. Yes.
Like,
it's one, make you pay for it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's like this has happened. Right. Yes. It is one thing to be like, hey, you can go to this website that has nothing that you can donate or pay money or anything. You can download the emulator. That's fine. Nintendo doesn't care if you download the emulator. But like being on a storefront and being like, hey, yeah, like pay us money. It's like, nah, you can't. You try to make money, Nintendo will come after you. It is stupid. Just these people.
Corey, what have you been playing?
Xenoblade still almost done, I think.
Yes.
I'm building a ship. Well, built the ship. I need to sail off to do something.
Okay. Yep.
How far?
It's like a little submarine type thing.
85%.
Yeah, you're close. Do you know what chapter you're on?
It's 7. I mean, I've been in 7 for a little bit. So.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Getting there just in time, Corey.
No, I know. I got Street Fighter, and I'm gonna KO. I'm getting Diablo 4. I know I am.
You're getting what?
Diablo.
Oh, 4. Diablo 4. Yeah. No, I mean the review. So yeah, that's the other thing we can talk about, like the reviews for. Oh yeah, it's finished.
We'll get into that.
It's finished.
But Mike, we've been playing. We'll get back to
so
that.
I've been splitting time between finishing up more of a Jedi Survivor. There's still a couple loose ends that do not much. But I mean, the world is way more expansive, so it's hard to find every nook and cranny to even do every boss fight or tear, which is sort of like these challenges that happen. And then I've been splitting time between that and the Storm DLC for Midnight Suns, which I went through, which unfortunately is probably the last DLC. We'll see.
I think they said
well, it's the last one. There's the last one planned in this, season pass, but we don't know what's going to happen going forward. But no, the sales have to. The tail that they were looking for has to be good.
All the time. It's like 50% off every other week.
But and it was good. Storm is okay. She's a little underwhelming as far as her abilities in this game. But she's all right. Like all the characters are all right in the game, and obviously she's a whole new character who you can awkwardly talk to for a very long time because that's what you do in this game. And there was the 3 standard DLC type missions that we get with these characters. And then one more that sort of wraps up the DLC story again. So it was good. The game, big surprise for me from late last year that how much I liked it. Never expected to like a card game and put solid amount of time in that. Like for sure, like 130 hours or something by now. So
yeah,
nice.
Wow,
it's big, yeah. So Midnight Suns, if you're on the fence, give him that tail.
I'm glad you picked it. I'm glad you picked it up though, because like it branches you out a little bit to get that experience, and then because it's a Marvel game, but then like it can open you up for other genres, like other games in that genre, which there's some great stuff to try out eventually. So if something happens, we'll definitely recommend some stuff for you.
Yeah, there is something funny though in this new DLC. They forgot to record like Wolverine's like voice line in one situation. So if you talk to him, he has like 2 lines where it's just like text to speech voice instead of Steve Bloom, and it even reads out it's like belch. That was the only thing I like about root beer or something. It's like, oh god, but no, it's funny. But
nice.
There are some rough edges with this game. Both games I'm playing, I ran into a few more issues with Survivor as well, where I got stuck, locked out of certain abilities for no real reason, while my character, I just had to reload. So they both could use some polish, but
yeah,
whatever.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about what we just put a pin in before, which is the amazing year of games that we're getting right now. So as Corey had mentioned, Diablo 4 is coming out soon, very soon. Street Fighter 6, as we've mentioned earlier, it's coming out very soon. Both getting very good reviews, like very good. Street Fighter 6 is getting phenomenal reviews. Diablo 4 is getting like
just under
maybe just under phenomenal. Yeah, it's really good. Like I mean, like you're getting 9s anyways, so it's like it's impressive. And I think what's funny about Diablo. Street Fighter was sold. Like I'm getting Street Fighter. I'm already actually today I pre-ordered it because I was like, you know what, at this point I saw the reviews come in and I'm like, whatever, this is it, I'm getting it. So that's pre-ordered. Then the reviews came in for Diablo, and I think for me that pushed me over because what I played in the beta was fine. There's nothing wrong with the game, but it is Diablo. And then seeing the reviews come in, it's like, okay, it is Diablo and it's really good. Like it's really good, like end game stuff. The loop, I guess way to say it, right? The loot cycle. That's a draw for that game. And if it's really good,
that's an RPG. Yeah, so I mean that's what you're playing for.
So,
and supposedly has like they learned from their lessons about in game. Like there's more content in this game right now as the base. What you're getting to the was it Tuesday? I guess if you have early access.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Next week. It's next week. There's more content now than there is in Diablo 3 or something like that. They're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, they couldn't do that, and that's kind of like what I said like last week with like some of these fighting games. A lot of them, most of them, is like you just lose so much content, in terms of characters and stuff like that, and it's always starting over from again. It's like, how could you launch Diablo and be like, yeah, we have less content than Diablo, 3 plus expansion? Like people would be like,
now.
Yeah, exactly, So it's good for them. Hope it,
I mean, it sounds very Destiny-like.
Yeah.
in that the multiplayer.
Yeah. No, that's
Arc. It sounds like almost like Arc also. Like.
Well, that's dude. The thing is like I still love Lost Ark. I wish it didn't have the grind it did, like the hamster wheel, because I'd still play that game. Like I would love to. Like the way that game plays is just amazing. The story is really good for that type of genre. But like I just cannot do these like grind fests anymore. It's just like you're gonna give out an hour, 2 hours of your life every day so you can complete your day. I'm just like, no.
Well, it's free to play for. I mean, that's the free to play aspect.
No, I get it, but I would honestly rather just be like, here, take $15 a month.
Well, I mean, that's what Diablo's doing. I mean, I think it's because like you're gonna pay the premium. You're gonna pay the $70 or whatever. And then if you want the battle pass, because there's a battle pass.
See, that's
like
where
$25.
That's where I feel like it's a little scummy because like you're charging $70 up front, and then it's like, oh, by the way, you have a battle pass right away, and it's like, I know this gets into the DLC territory again, where it's like, does it ship on the disc or whatever? But like buying a $70 title and being like, hey, there's a battle pass immediately. I'm just like, that's the.
Well, I mean, the battle pass is the thing. It's that. It's like that level up that you're
no, I know it is.
That grind, like whatever. It's all cosmetic though, so it's not like it's.
Needed, I hate that argument now though, because that's like ties directly into the feeling of progression in a lot of these games. The cosmetic, I don't know. I always feel like battle passes are scummy now in general.
No, I don't
you-
disagree with battle passes being scummy. Cause I do like, and in Overwatch we had the boxes that we get, and you get legendary skins. This felt amazing. Battle pass like, oh, I need to put 80 hours in 3 months to get everything, or else you're not gonna do it. It doesn't feel good if you can't get there. So you have to put the time in.
Yeah, your incentive, even if you don't
boosts, if you want to boost through it, they'll sell you that too, of course. But
you're incentivized to not waste your money by like trying to grind, even if you don't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's it. So I think for me, like the base game will be fine, and then eventually like the ultimate version that they come out with will be fine too. But going back to Street Fighter,
I want to do content personally.
Yeah,
I'll wait for an expansion or something like that. But
you can get the ultimate version. I got you. Going back to Street Fighter again, that's getting phenomenal reviews. Mike, you on board?
I'm starting to get on the fence, but for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm mad at NetherRealm.
Listen, man, the Street Fighter family is always welcoming people with open arms.
No, they're not. If they did, they would have been nicer to people who actually like NetherRealm games. But
yeah, the new control scheme does help you with that. Like
I'm not gonna. That's the baby mode, and you can't do all
baby
the stuff.
mode. Yes, you can.
It's baby mode.
It's not baby mode. I don't know where you're getting this from.
Skilled with that.
I don't know where you're getting this. This mode is specifically for people that just prefer controllers. Like they flat out said that because people got that perception that if you don't have or are good with an arcade stick, you can't compete, and that is wrong these days. Like there are professional players that actually play on controller. Like if you go watch Evo, there are people that are placing and winning with controllers, and this is aimed towards them because you can't do some of those motions as easily. Like I said, I can't do the full circle Zangief, throws easily on controller. On joystick, it's fine. Yeah.
Unless we play the character now. Yeah.
I know, but I feel like doesn't it lock out some of the more advanced techniques when you do it that way?
Like the combos, because instead of having 6 buttons for like low, medium, high for punches and kicks, it's just 1 button for punch. It's 1 button for kick, but you can like dial a combo easier rather than be like, okay, I have to hit triangle, square, R1 back to triangle to like do some fancy combos. Just it's a lot simpler now and stuff like that. I mean, try the demo, dude. Like the demo's out there, so you can just try it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I also appreciate the whole. There's way more single player stuff. It seems like in this game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean that was the biggest thing because like I think we all criticized the Street Fighter V. I mean, you guys remember Fight Money? The controversy over that, like.
Oh yeah.
Korean Mute.
It didn't even have an arcade mode when it came out.
Yep, so it didn't have an arcade mode. Yep.
It was ridiculous. Lack of story, all that stuff.
No, I mean, I don't have anything invested in the characters or the story. So that's a little bit of a deterrent for me because I haven't followed Street Fighter pretty much ever.
You gotta support Hobo Ken, man. He needs your help.
You know what? The most Street Fighter story that I've taken in was from the movie with Kylie Minogue and Van Damme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my Street Fighter story.
Yeah.
Ooh.
From Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Agent May. What's that?
Agent May. Yeah.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. Well, you chose her worst fucking role.
Playing that role in the Mandalorian.
Mulan.
Yeah, Mulan. Say Mulan. That's fine.
She's always Agent May to me, but yes.
But she was Chun-Li also.
Yeah. I mean, this is getting. I think it's at a 90. Street Fighter 6 is at a 92 Metacritic, which is insane to me.
Right.
Like for a fighting game, like that is insane. That is like
just like again, we talk about content. Like there is so much content in this game. Like there's something for everybody. It seems like even though they did say like the single player like RPG aspect of it is probably the weakest part because the focus is on the fighting game part, but you still get that whole fighter RPG aspect, which is really cool. You can, like create basically learn the moves and how to play the game, and you get to travel around. Like there's probably no story to it, I would imagine, but.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, like going to that virtual like in-game arcade and being able to play the other Street Fighter, that is so cool to me. Like that is something that like most like Capcom of like I would feel like 8 years ago would have been like, yeah, you can buy these games for
In the
DLC
game.
prices
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
like now they're like,
Yeah, and you get to take your creative character online and fight with them. So
Yeah.
It's crazy how Capcom became. We've have
Cap
a
God.
titled episode.
Well,
We have a
it's been a long
titled
time.
we have a F Capcom title episode
Yeah.
somewhere where we used to say that all the time. It's amazing how far Capcom's turned themselves around.
Yeah, they learned their lessons, man. Like, I mean, that's
they
the
were
thing.
290 Metacritic games this year already.
Yeah. I mean, to the point where it gives me
RE4 and 256.
It gives me hope for Konami. It does.
It does. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to that.
Oh man,
Well, I mean, Capcom's also got something in that showcase too, which we'll see.
Sure. But yeah, so
Let's get
SF6
going
looks
then.
really good, and then let's talk about the Sony showcase, which
All right.
I'm gonna lead it off here saying, guys, that was underwhelming.
That was so
I'm
bad.
sorry.
I was watching that live, and I was just like,
Yeah, there was.
Why?
For me, there was two things that I was interested in seeing, and one I knew was going to be there 100%. So
I mean, I just for the first showcase in 2 years, all the hype I had read to get multi-platform games, trailers, and a movie trailer after the anniversary we talked about last week of the Xbox, I just felt like that was a bad selection of games. And then I absolutely loved Spider-Man. Absolutely did. But even that, I felt like they showed too much for ending the show that way. Like, I'm like, why are you giving us?
It was like it was almost the reverse. Where like the whole show, we were waiting for games, then like in my opinion, when we finally saw Spider-Man 2, I was like, oh, thank God. And I played a little bit of it. I was like, okay, this is good. Like I'm happy to see this. But then it kept going, and I was like, wait, why are you still showing stuff? And it's like it kept going. I'm like,
I'm watching. I'm like, I'm excited, and I'm like, I'm gonna go make dinner because I'm like, this is just too much. I don't need to see this.
Yeah, it was like a whole set piece, whole set piece. Section.
Yeah,
I hope it's this. I hope it's the intro. I really do, because like if I get to that part in the game and it's like a couple hours in, I'm just gonna be like, I know what happens. Like, like whatever,
It seems. I don't know. There seems to be a little bit of dialogue that suggests like stuff was already established, certain things beforehand.
Yeah,
it seems to be very early in the game, though. It does.
Yeah, probably.
There, but it's very early because he had.
But
Miles
unless we're
what
skipping ahead, right? But I mean, also we got the whole. Like Peter mentioning Harry is sick and he's the one who has, the cure or something, or like he needs to get him to save Harry.
Yeah.
You mentioned that. So that means we have a little bit of a, an opening sort of, I don't know, salvo or a plot salvo earlier than that somehow. Unless, of course, it's in medias res or where we just start there and then we have to go back in time. It could be that. But I mean, that's how Star Wars starts. But it was a lot. After a while, I'm like, I started to try to tune out because I'm like, I don't want to see all of this right now. This feels a little spoilery. And I also remember the first game had this problem too, in this promotional stuff where stuff felt a little more on rails than what it actually was in the game. Like you saw it and you're like, is this just a quick time event? Like, where's the gameplay? Obviously, knowing the game now, we know a little more, but a lot of it was just like, this is just pretty much a cutscene where you press like a direction. But
yeah, I don't know.
I'm glad it was there. I'm glad we saw something, and the black suit stuff was certainly
not even
the big thing.
Not even a specific release date yet, just fall.
That was interesting.
To give that much of a demo, to show that much of the game and not give an actual release date for me was weird.
Especially with the rumored September already from someone.
Mean, being that close, but like, I just if you're gonna show that much, then just give it its own. What's those PS Mini things they do? Just give it its own thing, and do that. Yeah, and then at the end of this demo that you just saw, over 15 minutes, then give the release date. How about that? Like next month.
I don't know. I mean, they probably have their plan of what they're going to be doing.
Sure, but it's like, that's too much of the game. I just felt like they just showed too much and not give an actual release date, in my opinion.
I mean, they could have done less, but then they could have done more.
And
we would have complained either way.
And I don't know why people are complaining, but people were complaining about the visuals, and they said that it's an early build, for those wondering. I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, it was really good. Were there not enough puddles in it?
I don't know. Yeah, yes, Puddlegate. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, let's go through the rest of this thing. We're gonna start with the negatives. No Naughty Dog. Right? I mean, I got to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can segue into or tie it in because Jason Schreier broke that. Well, I mean, he tried to break it, but then Naughty Dog circumvented him
They gave.
So he reached out via his because he works with Bloomsbury now. And he reached out to them on a comment of a story he was writing, and before he could publish, they're like, hey, by the way, guys, Naughty Dog here. And I hate this. A quick segue. I hate how companies now use Twitter and just post an image of a long paper. It's a letter. It's like, dude, just write a blog post. I don't know why.
Link it.
Yeah, link it. Because whatever. It's too long for a tweet. Right, exactly. But Naughty Dog was like, hey, factions, we're still working on it, but unfortunately, it's not going to make what we anticipated originally, or whatever the fuck.
The Schreier news was that it was in bad shape.
Yeah, bad shape and delayed. So
yeah,
well, based off of what the remake for PC came out with, I don't have much confidence.
I don't understand how that port came out so badly.
Yeah.
But I'm shocked
was at the show though.
I'm just saying I'm starting off with the negative so we can talk about what's at the show because there was a lot of multi-platform.
Starting with Spider-Man.
Well, no, I'm saying right now let's start off with negatives. So I was going to say this one. I was going to say the PlayStation handheld was there, which turns out to be
that thing.
Is that negative? It's more of a non-whatever. I don't know. Is that negative?
I don't know. I feel like they didn't do anything. They specifically said it will only be used over Wi-Fi to stream your games. You cannot be on a different network.
I mean, nothing is going to be harmful from the show, but that's underwhelming. I would be negative.
I'm giving the bad here because I just felt like that was a product that doesn't need to be shown in this situation. Obviously, it's a minor product. I get that.
Well, this is the exact place you're gonna show something like this. Where else are they gonna show it?
I don't know. Another mini event, PlayStation mini event.
It's not gonna center it around this thing. You're gonna stick it at the end or somewhere where it doesn't do any harm, and be like, oh hey, by the way, you can do this.
Yeah. Well,
it's just I don't understand why it exists at all.
This to me just seems like an extension of give credit to Sony for trying something new. Because sometimes they're good at that and sometimes they're not.
No price and
but
bad.
It just feels like a distraction to me. And I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for this to come out at what people find an affordable price and it to be an awesome device. But I just don't see how it is better than existing things. Right?
This price. This item is going to be $299. It's got a 3-hour battery life. It's not going to be a good product.
No. I mean,
the thing I see. So here's how I'm looking at this, and I don't necessarily think it's. Well, the thing with this device is, I think if you have disposable income for this, I think it's pretty cool. Because
VR. Go ahead.
I'm not talking about VR. I'm talking about
the same idea. It's
not the same idea at all.
Disposable income. Go on.
No, I'm saying if you have disposable income and you can afford this, I think it's pretty neat because. I love playing streaming stuff from my PlayStation on my Steam Deck, but it is a process to do that. So there are people that if you do not want to do that, they have to go through that process of setting that up and then having that connectivity not be as solid. And this, if you can guarantee me that this connection is solid, I get to play stuff because I play mostly my Switch stuff handheld. I don't play it on the TV.
I get that. Yeah.
So I can have my PlayStation sitting wherever I want in a different room. Now I can play on a device on my hand. It's a pretty neat thing. I think it's pretty cool. I just don't think it's going to be very popular or affordable.
What do you think what's an affordable price? Is it $199?
I mean, affordable. I think that's even high for what this is going to be doing. Yeah.
You know it's not going to be under $199. $199
it's going to be overpriced. I don't disagree with you, Jim. It's going to be overpriced. But as far as what the idea of what it's for, if they can get it to $150, I think that would be amazing.
That would be impressive.
But it's not going to be. I don't think we can see that. Not with what they want to put in.
I mean, to me, I guarantee there is a audience for this for sure. It's just to me when I think of the things I want, the Sony hardware team to be doing. First of all, it's not VR. And when we got to the VR segment in the show, it just killed any momentum that might have existed. I was just like, fuck this. Well, I know this is going to be a 15-minute segment.
I was paused, so I got to skip through that. I paused it to take the dog out and everything like that. And I was like, okay, I got back and I'm like, I saw your post about VR. I'm like, oh, good. I'll just skip through this shit. So I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But,
So like
yeah.
to me, this just feels like an extension of like it's an ultra niche product, which I get, right? But to me, it is one of the things where it's like, is it better than the options? Like I don't know, like just for an example, let me finish real quick. The Xbox, I tried out the whatever it's called, where you stream to a tablet or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And I was playing GoldenEye with my Xbox controller on my iPad. I was like, wow, this is, and I was like right here just to test out like the latency difference and whatever, and it was like almost seamless. I couldn't tell everything. I was like, this is really cool. I was like, right now I don't need something like that, but if I did, I think it's cool that it's there. So like, I kind of wish, Sony would just make it better than for like Corey, like you could just stream it to your Steam Deck or whatever, your iPad or
no, I mean you can do it right now. Like that's the thing is you can do it. It's just a barrier to entry as far as people being able to. That's why this has to be super seamless, has to be super easy, dumbed down, basically, the most convenient thing possible if you're gonna make this work. Because otherwise, it will fail big time.
Okay, and I want to move on, and I'm sorry we're spending so much time on this, but
yeah.
The only problem I have, Corey, is, and I'm going back to Tears of the Kingdom right now. Certain like the way the PS5 stuff is built, it just does that translate handheld? Can that like work in a smaller screen?
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Because like Tears of the Kingdom, like I want to play it on my TV. I want to play it on my TV.
Sure. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play in the biggest screens possible? It's not about the biggest screen. It's about the convenience, Jim. We're talking about lazy ass people who don't want to get up from their couch.
It's not that. It's the best experience. Like Advance Wars, you can play it handheld.
Yeah, I want to go see all the big AAA movies in the IMAX or Dolby Digital Theater. It doesn't. I mean, yeah.
Let me just step in. Let me just step in and maybe immediately. Like I get, Jim, where you're coming, because like to me, when I think of the typical PlayStation user, there's somebody that favors the graphics, they favor the performance,
it's that experience of like the game.
Well,
like,
no, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Horizon.
Right. I'm getting there. Like Horizon or Last of Us, I don't know if that makes a good handheld game, right? Where you're just like looking at that.
Mike, you played Horizon.
Yes. Well, first of all,
Mike's like, I don't want to get pulled in.
The problem play Switch, dude.
I don't play anything handheld. It makes no sense to me at all because of that. I am the typical PlayStation player, though. I think a little bit. I'm more like that. I have the PlayStation 5, and I don't. The other thing is that it has to be the same network. You can't like leave your house.
No, and I get what Corey's saying though. But Corey likes to have his TV occupied by his kids, and he can play his games on his handheld. I get it. Like I know what you're saying. I'm just saying I don't feel like the PlayStation 5 games translate okay to the handheld mode. Like that's what I'm saying.
I disagree. I mean,
and you are experiencing it already, so I guess you
I mean, the idea is like you buy a supercomputer monitor thing because you want the best refresh rate, best like graphics, highest end. If you're gonna 4090, you want to make sure your monitor is capable of actually displaying the shit that's producing. Yeah, you want those things, but a lot of people are willing to do for convenience to make sacrifices.
I get convenience from it. I get it, and that's what you do with a Switch. I get it, but the games are designed differently on the Switch, where the sacrifice isn't as great. Like that's all I'm saying. Like you're not giving up a 4K experience to go to a 1080 screen. You're going from a 1080 experience to a 720 experience. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not giving up a lot on the Switch.
Well, you're also a videophile, Jim. Like I think
I still remember the one time we went to Buddha's and Geoff and Casey's, and you were doing something, and you're like, what the hell? Your Xbox is connected via video cable instead of the HDMI or
I can see it, yes.
Or whatever, and you're like, you're so offended. I was like, I got to side with Jim on this one. Like,
but it's not. But it's not. But I'm talking also about the game.
No, I know. I know. But I think we should move on.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
not being designed as a handheld.
The OLED Switch screen. I mean, that's a beautiful screen, right?
So, yeah, it is.
I get what
you're saying. We're going.
Doesn't your neck hurt after all that handheld gaming? Oh, never mind.
Let's talk about Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's an October release date, so that looks good. October 12th.
I will say I'm worried it's almost, too back to basics. I'm like, do we really want to like play Assassin's Creed 1 again?
Yeah, I think you need to bring that series.
People are ready.
I think we need to bring it back.
I mean, we're getting into a lot of remakes here.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Space.
I mean, that's what I was about to say. They're going to be. I guarantee you, there's at least one example is like, what if we remake Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna do Mirage and just kind of bring it back to basics, yeah, that's a good way to do it too. I'd love to see more games, that have that history where like we loved, like we talked about earlier, Assassin's Creed 2, like like we've gone so far away from that now, so let's bring it back to that.
Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood used to be like one of my top 10 games of all time. I don't really feel that strongly about it anymore, but maybe it's just been so long since I've played it. But I don't know. They need to bring back Desmond if they really want to bring back the vibes.
There you go. I agree with that. Okay. Alan Wake 2 coming October 17th. That looked good. I mean, do we get gameplay really much? I mean,
that's going to be digital only though, by the way.
Yes, to keep the price at $59.99. That's what they said.
Whatever.
We got a new hype trailer for Final Fantasy 16, which looked incredible.
For this.
That looked incredible.
See, that to me, it's one of the things I've seen so much about 16. I don't want to see any more about it. Like I kind of didn't pay attention.
I haven't. The first trailer I watched, I haven't watched anything else. I've read some stuff just to like get an idea of like what am I getting into, and some interviews, and from what they talked about, and just like all the lessons they're learning. I hope that they've learned from Final Fantasy 15, and like how they broke that story up into like all these different parts and we never got an ending and all that garbage. Yeah. Like they said this is going to be a complete story, which they also said they're going to have like story summaries or some like thing because it got a little confusing for people apparently.
Yeah, they have this what I think is a really cool feature. I think it was Kotaku that tried to fucking shit on them for it. Kotaku's worse than IGN in my opinion nowadays, but what happens is like there's a compendium type of thing where you can look up like NPCs and stuff like that, so you can be like this helped me like when I started reading the Song of Ice and Fire, one of the most confusing things was a character that would only be mentioned like once or twice a chapter, and I'd be like, wait, who? And then I would be reading at my computer so I could just Google it really quick. I was like, who's this character? And I'd be like, oh, like okay, I remember this now. Yeah. So they have something like that for this game and they've cited that Song of Ice and Fire is a huge inspiration for. It was a mandatory thing. Like all the core staff had to watch the entire Game of Thrones series.
Oh wow!
To work on this game, he flat out said, "I bought Blu-ray sets for the for the core staff, and said you need to watch this. This is part of your work. Like that's it." So,
real quick side tangent here. I saw this guy like having a huge like argument about Game of Thrones and how the mother of dragons. She's not the mother of dragons because they are wyverns. They're not dragons.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
Wow. All right. Anyways. Nerd alert. All right. Dragon's Dogma 2.
More than
that I'm excited for.
This looks cool, yeah.
Another Capcom, in my opinion, Capcom held up the showcase so much.
Mm-hmm.
They did. That looked really good. Being developed on the RE engine.
Yeah. I mean, RE engine is
the original, like when it all like everything came out and like the remake, the ultimate, whatever. That's actually really good.
It's really good. Like I would suggest this to anybody that was like, I like Dragon Age. Like to me, you guys know my feeling on Dragon Age, but like I think Dragon's always like you just
and you can like I think I got the remake or whatever, the re-release on PC. Dragon's
you can get it for so cheap. Yeah, you can get it for so cheap. But yeah, I mean, like really quick, just to talk about, because I know, we've talked about all these times these companies have relied on their own internally developed engine and stuff like that, and they've all failed. But Capcom has gotten so much use out of the RE engine because it's on RE. Obviously, they've done it with Monster Hunter now Dragon's Dogma. I mean, this engine
the thing is
really
when it's a good engine, like that's where it helps because like Horizon's engine is amazing. This one's amazing, but then you look at like Frostbite, shit,
awful.
And it just makes every game
whatever
shit.
Halo,
when you buy into the wrong engine, it's
whatever 343 has been using,
So all right, Bungie announces new marathon.
Speaking of,
I went into that right away. I'm like, 343. I've actually Bungie. So the marathon was a first-person shooter released in 1992. This will be a PvP-focused game, no single player.
Yeah,
not interested in myself.
Trying to get in. It sounds like this is Sony's new Valorant, Overwatch, whatever.
Yeah,
they want a competitive shooter thing.
They're
live service game.
Yeah, these are a lot of live service games supposedly in this, and this is the only one that sort of catches. Like I raise my eyebrow. I'm like maybe, just because of Bungie and
I mean that's the thing is like Bungie gameplay, the gunplay is still awesome. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they do with this
Yeah.
for sure. Because if it's, Apex style or something, I don't know. I didn't really get to see what this one was, but yeah, I'm curious to see.
Well,
How
that's
it
also
turns
the
out.
problem because it's just the
CGI.
cinematic. You don't really know what's happening.
This is my biggest criticism of this show. Is just like there's so many CGI only. I'm just like
everything was trailers. I'm like, where's the gameplay? We've talked about it many times. We got a new look at Street Fighter 6's story mode, which was cool. But they kicked off the show with Jade Raymond's Haven.
Her studios, Haven.
Haven, studios, So, Haven Studio. So that the game is a competitive heist experience coming to PS5 and PC.
Fair game or fair games?
Fair games with a dollar sign, right?
Dollar sign, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a cool idea. I like the idea, but like they haven't turned out well.
Again, no release window
high
either.
stuff has been in GTA, I think. So it's like we'll see. But I like the idea. I do think it'd be cool to have like a crew to like build a crew and go on a heist. But,
have any of us played Payday? I haven't.
I've seen people.
I played it, but it was very forgettable.
Well, that's what this seems like it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I was watching the show. I was like, Payday? I was like, Payday?
Yeah. Splatoon is coming to PS5.
Nice, finally.
I mean, I'm Foam Stars. I'm so sorry.
I was watching that trailer. I was like, okay, like, where did this inspiration come from? I wonder.
They're not even like.
They're not even hiding it. It is.
But you can build up the foam and walk on it. It looks like that's different.
Sure.
That's about it. But that's a different thing.
Yeah.
You gotta have your own twist, otherwise it's plagiarism.
Yep.
So, that game looks so much like Splatoon.
That feels like a game like we're gonna hear about for like 3 months, and then at 6 months, we're like, we're gonna shut this game down. Sorry, guys.
That's doomed.
Let's see, Plucky Spire, the Plucky, wow, the Plucky Squire, was on there as well. I think the coolest game that I saw revealed was Phantom Blade Zero, the hack and slash RPG.
Nice. Interesting.
I like that the best from reveal wise. Besides the Spider-Man, obviously. Besides Spider-Man, I thought this was the best of the show. Yeah, this looked great. No release date though, so who knows when this is coming. Again, you see a game and there's no release date. Did they do an E3 to us? Is this a real game? Is this a tech demo?
Also, how gameplay is that gameplay? Because
that's it. It looked very scripted.
Very choreographed, but also very quick and almost
quick time. It looked like quick time.
Like it. Well, yes, it looked like someone like going crazy, like doing like a martial arts routine. Really.
Yeah. We don't know if we saw a tech demo or if that's the actual game. So we'll see it in like 2 years, I'm sure. Ghost Runner 2 announced for 2023. Sequel to More Levels action platformer. Helldivers 2 was announced. I thought that was
Helldivers was awesome.
Yeah.
And this is like it's like big departure from what Helldivers 1 was. So.
Yeah, it looks impressive. My cousin Michael loved that game. So
I love that game.
Yeah. He's the one that got recommended to me.
What? We played it all together.
Well, what?
Yes.
What are you talking about? I played it with you more than.
Yes.
No, come on.
So
Helldivers is great. But this game is like a totally different camera angle. Seems much more action oriented. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, true. That is absolutely true. By the way, not actual gameplay was shown way too many times at this show.
That's what I called it. I said PlayStation, not actual gameplay showcase. Like that's what it was.
Yeah, like that's really what it was. So many trailers. The games that could be good, but we don't know. We don't know. Giant Squid reveals Sword of the Sea.
Are there any big games? Because like, there's so much we could talk about.
Let's just get to MGS.
Yeah, we'll go to Metal Gear. They should have done anything. Remnant.
I mean, what can we talk about? MGS? Like, I'm excited. It's announced. Like we talked about it.
It was non-gameplay trailer.
Non-gameplay. Yeah.
Non-gameplay trailer, and we don't know. Do we know who's developing it yet?
It's Konami.
We don't know who's actually doing it.
No Kojima.
No Kojima. Absolutely.
Yeah, obviously that. The other
Snake Eater was the big one, really. Yeah.
Is MGS Delta, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
So after being pretty excited about it at first, then the screenshots come out and you see it's gonna be like 1-to-1, like almost exactly the same, just a fresh coat of paint. And then I sort of dampen my expectations a little, where I'm like, they might. This isn't going to be like a Capcom style remake here, where
It's a
you
it's
get
a
where you
remaster.
get you get like a new game out of it. Yeah, this is going to be more remastery. I expect now, which I mean, it's still going to be good
Pink by
if it doesn't.
numbers.
Yeah, it's still going to be good if that like works out. But I was in my mind, I was sort of thinking, imagine like Metal Gear Solid 5 like controls in the MGS3 world or stuff. I know that would kind of break that game, but if you had more freedom to change things, you could adjust, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. So I'm t- I'm lowering my expectations a bit after
Gotcha.
that.
I do agree. I've lowered down then. I thought it was going to be a complete remake, so that kind of hurts to hear.
Well, I mean, seems like they're remaking, just gonna
We'll see
shot
what
for
they come
shot.
out with. We'll see
Well,
what
they have to do something because they're also re-releasing the ports as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully there's a little more than just
I'm sure there
a
will be.
graphical overhaul.
I'm sure there
but
will be, but
I
I
don't know.
mean, that's the only justification I can see for not showing the gameplay trailer. Because like, if it's a remake, why aren't you just showing us the fucking footage? Like, it's so weird to me that they didn't. That it's just a
Yeah, there's
trailer.
a few question marks with that. And no one trusts Konami, although they did release the Cowabunga collection. I don't know how
Yeah.
much new work went into that, but there's some, you know, there was work put in that for sure. I don't know how much they did, but that was a good thing they did recently. So it's not like they haven't done anything good before
Oh,
in the
so,
recent years,
no.
but who knows?
So yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, it was not for me. It was a disappointing showcase, but because it just was all trailers and no gameplay, and even the gameplay teases that we got seemed like they were E3 trailers, like they were like mock-ups essentially. We don't know if that was actual gameplay because I think they said not actual gameplay multiple times, so you don't know.
I mean, the thing to me, if you recall, like last week, I was like, I mean, I'm like right on the cusp of getting PlayStation 5, right? With
Same here.
Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
same
16
here.
and Spider-Man 2 in a couple months here.
Yeah.
I was just looking for any like just one or two solid games where I'm like, shit, yeah, okay, like I cannot wait for this now. And like, exclusive preferably, because like if it's on PC, I'm just gonna get
like
my
Final
fucking
Fantasy 16. You're not gonna get to play it anywhere else.
Right. I mean, because I'm getting Street Fighter 6 on PC, and if Final Fantasy 16 was available on PC, I would absolutely just be getting it on PC.
Yeah,
but it's not, and I get it. That's business. But for them to not show like one new title, and I'm not counting Spider-Man 2 because we all knew that was coming, right? And we all knew that.
Yeah.
But like, not one other new first-party developed like game, like that was ridiculous. Like we didn't get like Ghost of Tsushima 2. We didn't get like
people were looking for that.
Even a new Uncharted, like from a different team, like because that's what it will be. Or Last of Us 3 or Naughty Dog new IP, something like that. So it's just like kind of weak, and especially because last week I reported that news from their conference or their investor relation thing where they're like, yeah, we want to have at least 2 games per year, like high profile AAA whatever, and we want to get in every genre again, like they used to and stuff like that. And I'm just like, how did you say that last week in this showcase? I didn't get any vibes of that. I just got.
And we got
this was all about doing their live service stuff.
We also got a Gran Turismo movie
I feel
trailer.
like 4 of these are going to be.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Why did we get a movie trailer in the middle of this stupid broadcast? That was stupid.
I saw some React people actually get confused and be like, "Oh, this looks realistic." Wait a minute. Yeah. It's like, oh no.
I get it there.
I was disappointed with this presentation.
No, I was too. And like the thing is, I think about because obviously they still have opportunities to do it more, but like I'm just like, man, like for not having a show in 2 years, and like the showcase is supposed to be the biggest thing. The state of play is the mini
it's their E3 almost, like their E3 conference,
right? The equivalent. Where I'm just like, man, like it's a little disappointing. I mean, and I obviously know they have to have more games to show, but like to be like, if I were to say like 1 year out, if they had another showcase in 1 year, like I hope they have titles that are just like, hey, this game is coming out in 3 or 6 months that you didn't even know about. We didn't talk about it. It's boom. But Sony's typical marketing cycle is about the game for at least a year and you see it multiple times.
Yeah.
It's a very old school approach. Very old school.
Maybe they've changed their philosophy to be more like like Nintendo, where it's like, hey, we're gonna show you games for the next.
Here's 2023.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Where it's just like, there you go.
Yeah.
But
so we'll see.
But I do think they ran into a little trouble with delays and such, where a lot of their high-profile releases released pretty close together in the last year or two between Ragnarok and Horizon and their remakes of Last of Us. It all came pretty close together, and now what's left? Really?
Ghost,
Yeah, the Ghost of Tsushima. That would have been maybe the only one I could think of could have shown up. Everything else,
Uncharted should be something going on with that by now.
But we are
they,
getting
they tell us that's done, so I don't know if that's gonna happen or not.
we're getting the Ratchet and Clank game on PC, which is pretty exciting.
That's true.
Yeah, another
So-
PC port, which is good. I mean, I want to see more ports, but didn't get my Bloodborne remastered, so sorry,
No.
sorry.
No Wolverine teaser either. Although I thought the beginning of Spider-Man might have had Wolverine in it. The way that was going early on, like, no, this is just Craven, whatever.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else to comment, guys? Corey, anything?
No, it's like these guys said, kind of just echo the same thing. It's they kind of dropped the ball. Like obviously the things that we expected to be there were there. I think Metal Gear was kind of like, oh, this is really cool, but
Where's the game? Yeah.
But it's
It's not the same thing as a new game, right? And
Yeah.
exactly.
I gotcha. I mean, it's exciting. I definitely want to try. I've never experienced that game, but I
And then I think
don't,
some other stuff is kind of under the radar. Like Dragon's Dogma, I think is going to be pretty neat. But we already knew about Final Fantasy. We're going to get that. Street Fighter, we knew about. We're excited for that. So it's just like then you're going to show a bunch of like, smaller titles, which is great.
which is fine, but like it doesn't get me excited,
But
right?
at the same time,
But a lot of those were trailers or not actual gameplay.
Exactly, and you don't know dates
Not
for
a lot.
anything. Like when did we see dates for anything? No. So it's like when are we supposed to be excited?
Now.
Like I think they remember
Pre-order now.
Them, like, yeah, I remember them like even like joking about this in a presentation earlier where they're like gameplay because Microsoft used to do the movie trailers, and I think they've done one where they just showed us gameplay. I'm like, that's what I was expecting from this showcase, like something like just gameplay written, like here's our game, look at it, enjoy it. And this was a lot of just hype trailers. It's hype trailers.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this was still like 100 times better than what Microsoft's doing.
And it is because we've got nothing, and anything that Microsoft does show us, I don't believe.
I mean,
So there we
everything.
go.
What I love too is like trailers come out like, oh hey, Alan Wake's coming to Xbox, guys.
Yeah, I saw
they're
that.
they're like, riding the coattails.
Yeah,
So
anything
sad.
they show us, I just don't believe until it's actually out. They have to earn so much more credit than Sony does.
Microsoft needs to come out guns a-blazing.
But they can showcase whatever their show is. They can show us actual gameplay of let's go crazy. Fable, Forza, Gears. They can show us actual gameplay of all of these games. I don't care until I actually see it in my hands. It doesn't exist with Microsoft.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But like, I mean, at least if they show us something, there's more of a chance that it will exist rather than not seeing anything. Like Perfect Dark.
But I'm like, here it is, the exact same attitude. I'm like, okay,
no,
let's see it. Let's see it. So, all right, that's gonna wrap up this episode, though, folks. So that was fun. We will follow up more on Tears of the Kingdom next week, I'm sure. There's a lot of stuff to go over. Street Fighter 6 is coming, so we'll have that. So tune in next week, guys. Once again, Twitch, Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. YouTube, subscribe to both channels to get the latest and greatest when we post things. You get notified. We will see you guys soon. We're out. Thanks.